Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Jon Idago here for our segment, our video podcast ngayong araw nito for Coffee Tayo. And today, I have a very interesting topic para sa ating lahat, and it's about relationships. And I know lahat tayo may mga relationships, lahat tayo may mga bagay na gusto nating maayos sa ating mga relationship. And I've shared this message in my visit in Ireland, and it was really interesting because people really responded dahil nakarelate ang mga tao. And I thought, this is something that more people should hear. And it's about the three stages of any relationship. So any relationship to, whether romantic relationship, relationships sa pamilya, relationships sa trabaho, relationships sa magkakaibigan, relationships sa business partnership, relationships sa simbahan, yung community life. It's really about relationship. And meron talagang tatlong stages tayong may experience sa ating paglalakbay together as human beings. And ang unang-una dyan ay yung stage of honeymoon. Number 2, ito yung stage of disenchantment. And the third stage, ito yung stage of decision. It's very common. And in fact, lahat ng uri ng relasyon ay dadaan dito sa tatlong stages na to. And regardless of yung status, age, at kung ano man ang sitwasyon, lahat dumadaan dito sa stage na ito. And we need to understand that in stage 1, everything is fantastic. Everything is beautiful. Everything is lovely. Ito yung stage kasi na kilig tayo, no? When we start a community, everything is beautiful. You look around you, everyone ay mukhang anghel, no? Ito yung stage na yon. When you enter into a new romantic relationship, the other person is so sweet. Everyone is everything is just so perfect, and you feel ito na yon. And the butterflies in your belly, and talagang ang sarap ng pakiramdam when you start a new business. You open a business, ang saya-saya, exciting. Everything is like promising, and it's a wonderful stage. It's a beautiful stage because it's the beginning. And ito yung stage na we all show our shine, everything that we can, because dito sa stage na to, we are usually we are focused on impressing, but we are less focused on connecting. And that is a very big mistake. When you try to impress people, bibigay mo yung best. And you know what? In this stage, natural yan. It's something that many people do. We all probably go through it. Ito yung time na talagang you don't worry too much about the efforts. You just give it. And again, look back in your situation sa community life. Ito yung time na gustong-gusto mong tumulong, mag-serve. Gusto mo talaga na lahat ibigay mo. Kung kailangang magluto ka at kahit mapuyat ka, kailangan talagang gagawin mo yan because you are in that stage of excitement, and you're willing to give so much in this particular stage. But then, there comes the second stage. And usually, itong stage na to, it will come around 2 or 3 years. Ito yung common na nangyayari. And this is the stage of disenchantment. Dito sa stage na to, dito mo na makikita yung mga cracks. Dito mo na makikita yung mga imperfection nung mga kasama mo o nung partner mo. And this is the stage where you feel something is wrong. It's like this is not what I imagined it to be. I thought it was going to be good. It was going to be perfect. And now this stage, itong stage na to, can really happen in different time frame. Kasi sa mga romantic relationship, this can happen, maybe sa first year or second year. Sa mga community life, medyo matatagalan ng konti because that's how it is. In business partnership, this can happen really early. Itong stage 2 na to, especially when you are starting to feel the pressure of the bills, and you see that your partner, your business partner, is not doing what you expected him or her to do, and it feels like parang hindi ito yung ini-imagine ko, and you start feeling wrong inside of you. And eto yung stage na the shine is gone, and wala na yung shine. So stage 1, everything is shiny, but here you see that merong flaws, meron ng shortcomings yung mga kasamahan mo, and you start questioning yourself. Kasi ito na yung time na nagkakaroon na ng tension, nagkakaroon na ng tampuhan, nagkakaroon na ng misunderstandings. And this is the stage where a lot of people, and I'm telling you, it's like 80%, okay, will face the crisis and will fall apart because stage 3 will enter. Ano yung stage 3? That is the stage of decision. Ito yung stage na everyone will decide whether to go beyond the difficulty, the discomfort, the disillusion, or you decide to separate. Kasi dito sa stage 3 na to, may dalawang version, may dalawang may dalawang reality na pwedeng mangyari. The first one is separation. You decide, you know what, I don't want more of this. I'm tired of this. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I was hoping. Ayoko na. So you go away. You cut the relationship and you break off. The second option is the option of growth. This is the stage of decision, remember? So you decide now, regardless of what you feel, regardless of what's happening, you decide, I want to make it work. I want to try to work this out. If I have to adapt, if I have to recalibrate, gagawin ko. I want to do it because this is what I really want. And well, sadly, like I have said, konti lang yung mga nakakalagpas ng stage 3 na ang pipiliin ay stage of growth. And a lot of people will choose the option A, separation, because it's perhaps the easiest way. And you sort of realize na talagang hindi ito yung gusto mo, and you really want to, first of all, think about what's good for me and what I want. So very, very interesting ito, very interesting. And what I really want to note is ang stage 1 and 2, absent ang decision doon. Wala kang decision doon because it all happens naturally. Yung good feeling ng stage 1, nandyan yan automatically. Hindi mo yan pinipili. It's there. It's automatic. Yung stage 2, that feeling of disillusionment, na parang you start seeing the cracks, lahat yan automatic din. Hindi mo rin yan dinesisyonan. So stage 1 and 2 will happen naturally. But then stage 3 is all based on our decision. So what will you do now? Yon ang stage 3. And it's really interesting because we have to understand that all separation, pag nagkakaroon ng breakup sa community, nagkakaroon ng breakup sa romantic relationship, nagkakaroon ng breakup sa business, masakit yan. Masakit yan. Bakit? Because we are actually holding on to that image, that idea of it should have been better. I mean, sana naging ganito, sana naging ganyan. Marami tayong iniisip na this was supposed to be good. I mean, eto yun eh. I believe that this was the right thing and the right relationship, the right person, the right community. Nandito yung nararamdaman natin ngayon. And that's why it hurts. That's why it's so painful. But we are just convincing ourselves that it was meant to be. But the truth of the matter is, the fact that it didn't happen that way, it shows and it means it wasn't meant to be. Because it's only meant to be if it actually happened. And that is what I want to insist dito sa stage 3 na to, na it's all about decision. It's all about decision. If the business partner or that person you're dating or that community member or yung kamag-anak mo na yun decided to break off the relationship, it was a decision. And it does hurt. And you know what? Mahirap talaga. But we need to remember that we all operate based on the amount of commitment that we have at that particular time. So, alam nyo, ako, na-experience ko yan. During this pandemic, I've lost more people than I could bear. Hindi sa namatay sila, no? But in losing people in terms of, membership sa community and people that I really love and appreciate. There was a break off, and it was so painful. For so long I was really depressed. I was depressed kasi ang sakit-sakit. Ang sakit-sakit, and I was so affected, and I was asking myself, I was already questioning myself. Saan ako nagkulang? How come I'm so easily set aside, or what's wrong with me? Ano yung bagay na nakita nila na hindi ako sapat, no? All of those things I was thinking, it was hurting me. It was really hurting me because remember, my original pain, my original wound ay rejection. And it's really something that is so vivid sa aking puso, and it's something that stings so bad. And I had to really do some research and do some soul searching and start to accept that we all operate based on the amount of commitment we have at any particular point. And everyone has decisions to make. And when it comes to relationship and going through stage 3, lahat yan nakabase sa decision. And it's not about, how difficult the situation is. Hindi eh. Kasi no matter how hard the situation is, if a person or a group of people is willing to work this out, they will work it out. But if there is breakout at maka-experience ka nun, that means ganun na talaga eh. And I was talking to my auntie, and she said something very beautiful. Sabi niya, spreading love is like spreading seed sa field. Hindi lahat ng ini-spread mo na seed ay uusbong. Hindi lahat ng ini-spread mo na love ay babalik. But there will be some na magfa-flourish. And I have to accept that truth, that I have invested so much love and so much of myself in this relationships, but hindi lahat talaga umuusbong eh. At ganun talaga ang buhay. And masakit, pero ganun talaga ang buhay. And you need to accept it and not take it personally, because otherwise it will be hard. It will be hard for you. But again, just to conclude and really close this video podcast, I want you to remember this. Any relationship, again, business, romantic, community, family, anumang relationship, any relationship based on need, pangangailangan, that relationship is doomed to fail. Magfe-fail yan in the long term because we cannot base our relationship on pangangailangan. You know, my wife and I had a discussion. It was late at night. It was a very difficult conversation. And, you know, I laid down the cards. And by the way, I am in no way, I'm not a marriage counselor or a marriage coach. That's not my thing. That's really not my thing. And, there are a lot of great marriage counselors out there or couple therapists. Magagaling sila, but that's just not my thing. But what I know, what I study, and what I'm passionate about is human psychology. I study human behavior and I study what makes us tick. Anong nangyayari sa atin in our hearts, in our minds when things happen, when we experience something. That I am very interested on. And in any relationship, like sa aming mag-asawa, no? I said, you know what? This is where I am emotionally right now, and I said we have to stop. We have to stop living in this relationship based on our needs and so much expectations and all these pressures, and we really have to, we really have to go back to the basics and try to work this out, because there was a time that we really suffered, and I realized that any relationship, I'm telling you, any relationship that is based on need is doomed to fail. It will fail. Kasi walang tao, walang relationship na magbibigay sa'yo ng 100% satisfaction. Wala talaga. And that's just the way it is. Because we're all broken. We're all imperfect. And if you enter into a new relationship wanting that person to fix you, to give you what you need, and that's the only thing and reason why you're there, it will fail. Believe me, it will fail. Again, business man yan, community o anuman. That's why when you enter into community and you're there as a needy person, now there's nothing wrong with being needy. Lahat tayo may needs. Pero kung yan lang ang dahilan mo kung bakit ka nasa community, you want to be blessed, you want to feel loved, you want to feel good, a time will come, you won't be satisfied anymore because the people around you, lahat ng nasa community ay imperfect. And a time will come, you will start saying, ay, hindi na ako nabibless. I don't feel loved anymore. I don't feel satisfied anymore. So what will you do? Aalis ka. Forgetting that you are in community precisely not because you want to feel blessed. You are in community because you have to become a blessing for other people. At ganyan din sa ibang relationship. If you enter into a relationship wanting to be satisfied, I don't care if your partner is Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie o kasing ganda ng model, it's not gonna work. And we've seen that, how many beautiful couples are there na magkahiwalay na ngayon because it's not based on that. It's not based on that. That any relationship that will flourish cannot be based on need. It should be based on friendship. Friendship. If there's no friendship, then long term, believe me, it's just going unti-unti magiging dry. Unti-unti it will wither and it will just eat you up slowly. And finally, you need to understand that you are there to give. That in any relationship you are there to present yourself and you're not there just to take and take. Now, relationship is give and take. Pero hindi yan katulad ng relationship ng vendo machine. I give you the right coin, you give me the right item. That's not gonna work because you won't have the right item all the time. You won't receive the right item that you want all the time. May pagkakataon na hindi mo yan marireceive. And if you're not okay with that, believe me, that relationship will be doomed to fail. And that's very, very important. And so how do you know early on kung magwo-work ang inyong relationship? The question for you is, how is your conversation? How is your conversation? When you converse together, do you come out of that conversation filled that you feel, I am a better person after this conversation? Or every conversation is parang labor, talagang napakahirap, and walang conversation, and every time you converse, parang pagkatapos sugatan ka, puro ka sugat, and you feel bad, and you don't feel better, you don't feel refreshed. That's where you know and see it's a very good sign if that relationship will last or not. Because at the end of the day, sabi nga ni Friedrich Nietzsche, a relationship, like a marriage, is a 50 years conversation. And if that conversation is not there with your business partner, if that conversation, that healthy conversation, is not there, and you don't experience that with your partner, with your community leaders, with your family, then it's doomed to fail. Stage 3 is a stage that is only based on decision. And if you're a person who cannot work out and willing to work that out, you know exactly that your relationship is doomed. And so there, I just really wanted to share that because it's so important that we understand the anatomy of what's going on sa ating community, sa ating relationships, and we all need to work it out somehow and find ways to also avoid some hurts na unnecessary because we value the wrong things. And sabi ko nga, we cannot expect a relationship to flourish if it's based on need, because in the long run it will fail. So there you have it, my dear friends. That's just our coffee tayo for today. I hope you got a lot of inputs and value as you listen and maybe reflect on your own relationships. I really appreciate that you're here and you listen to this video podcast, and I encourage you na mag-subscribe. Subscribe kayo, share niyo yung podcast, and like, and I will see you again in our next conversation. This is Jon Idago once again. Thank you. God bless.